Welcome everyone to 7.25C. This is going to be a patch where they basically nerf health regen and a lot of different heroes that were meta in multiple different ways. So I'm going to be giving you, at the best of my ability, the spark notes of the patch so that you can understand all the implications of the items, not just read the changes, but really understand what these changes actually mean for the state of Dota. So if you're excited for that and like patch videos, click the like button down below to help our channel grow, as well as support the video. You guys know the deal. And let's get into it. And on top of the content you're going to be seeing today, I recently talked about Necro. I played a Necro game where live I talked about all of my thoughts and really everything that came to mind. It was a very funny match as they basically gave up early on. But what I discussed was like how to crush the early game, how to really dominate your laning stage and not just go even. Because a lot of people think they're winning. They think they're doing okay, but at the end of the day, they're not really doing that well. So if you're interested in seeing that video, click the link down below to the gameleap website. It's over there. I've also made some other videos such as a live Legion game. I've even talked about Tidehunter recently, updating his course. We even have an updated Legion course now. And so there's so many things to check out on the gameleap website. Super cheap, a lot of time on our hands, I'm sure right now because of the quarantine that I am also going through. Hopefully I'll see you guys there, and now let's get into the video. Alright, so right off the bat we have some very notable general changes. The first one is when two players pick the same hero in a round, the hero is banned instead and the round restarts. Now what it was before is in all pick, or when you would pick heroes at the same time, if you picked the same hero, right? Let's say both of the last heroes, or in a round both of you picked SF. The person who picked first would get SF, and the other person would know that they picked SF because obviously they would be forced to repick, and then they would have to pick their hero. Instead, what they're doing now is that the hero's just banned. So if both people pick SF, all of a sudden SF just gets banned. But this is pretty notable for a couple different reasons. Let's say you know the enemy team has, I don't know, a Meepo spammer, and you're afraid of Meepo, or you don't want to play against Quap, and the enemy team has a Quap spammer. What do you do when you know they have last pick and they're going to pick Quap because it's a free Quap game or it's a free Meepo game? You just pick Meepo. And I know this is a bit of a risk. You could be like, well, Speed, then what if they don't pick it and you get stuck with Meepo? Well, yeah, that is a potential downside, but I would be willing to bet that in certain games you can almost guarantee that people will pick certain heroes based on their, their history. And because of this, you essentially now have a way to get extra bans against hero spammers. So yeah, just keep that in mind. I think it's a really actual legitimate strategy, not a meme. Definitely pretty legit. And you could even let me know in the comments if you had thought about that. Next up is all pick hero selection was reduced from 25 seconds to 20, which is pretty weird because I felt like it wasn't that long as is. Maybe Valve and people didn't want to wait that long, or Valve noticed some statistic where people were getting bored. I don't know, but yeah, they reduced it by 5 seconds. Words can now always be attacked by the owning player. Guys, I don't even know what this means. Is this mistyped? Words can now always be attacked by the owning player. Does that mean you can basically deny an obs even if it's full HP? Is that what that means? Like, maybe the reason for this is that if you block a camp, so I think this is what this means, but basically if you block a camp with sentries and it was an accident, right? Let's say a fight broke out and you want to get down an obs so you could see the fight coming, right? So you could get vision in the fight, which all you support players, you better be doing. You better put down words at the beginning of the fight. But let's say you accidentally block a camp when doing that. Now, I'm assuming you can just get rid of the word. Harpy Stormcrafter mana capacity reduced from 150 to 125. This is the creep that basically had lightning, and it was a small camp creep. And basically, if you got this as Ench or Chen, two decent heroes, you would win the lane. It was that strong, I'm serious. You would straight up win the lane. So they're just nerfing the mana pool a bit. Now for the item changes, man, these items, like, Ring of Regen was so broken, guys. Like, I don't think anyone can deny that. I was watching a 33 Darkseer replay, which I actually might do a replay analysis for the website. So hopefully that will be there and you can check it out. But he bought 2 Rings of Regen to start the lane, one to build into his Helm Dom, one to build in the Soul Ring, and yeah, my man just has like a casual 4 extra health regen. And it's like, alright, now he's just not dying in lane. Guess that's alright. But yeah, so they nerfed that. Then Soul Ring HP regen reduced. That makes sense because it's built from Ring of Regen. Headdress, this is probably the most notable, well, maybe the most notable change of the entire patch. Headdress losing 0.5 HP regen. I definitely think that matters. Every minute you're going to be losing, I think, 30 HP if I'm doing my math correctly. Sorry if I'm messing up with the math, but it definitely matters. It can be easily be the difference between winning a trade or not, especially in the laning stage when everything comes down to be very close trades. I definitely think this matters quite a lot. Next up is Mechanism, and it's just once again the HP regen nerf, and then most notably, we have here the Pipe of Insight was increased in cost. Now the HP regen was also once again nerfed as per all the other items, but the recipe. We all expected this, guys. Come on, we all knew the pipe nerf was coming. It's been a while. It's been a long time coming. Pipe had to get nerfed. 200 gold extra. And because of this, what you're going to notice is that I think, I was going to say maybe certain heroes won't buy it, like the less casual buyers, but I don't think that's going to be the case at all. Guys, please don't stop buying pipe just because it's 200 more gold. 200 more gold just means you have to farm an extra creep wave, and sure, it doesn't feel great, right? Because now pipe is 2,975 gold, but it's still, please buy this item. Buy this item. It is still broken. It still gives you 400 mana block to all nearby allies, as well as 2 HP regen and 10 magic resist. It is that broken. It's also 30% magic resistance on yourself. Just buy pipe. Next up is Helm of the Dominator. Definitely a pretty popular item of the patch ever since it's been basically irrelevant up until this recent patch. It just lost some HP regen. Ring of Tarask, 4.5 regen to 4. That's pretty bad for the Ring of Tarask because now it's quite a bit worse in the laning stage. You couldn't buy it right off the bat. Now it's even worse in terms of HP regen. Are people still gonna buy this? I don't know. I don't know because the alternative was Ring of Regens, right? You would buy Ring of Regens, but now that's nerfed as well. So the question is, like, maybe Ring of Tarask is still your best option? I think overall what they're trying to do is get back into the meta where you had to buy consumables. Royal Jelly, health regen nerfed as well. Necromonicon losing 4 strength at level 1, pretty huge, making this item quite a bit worse, right? Losing out on 80 HP at level 1 on the Necromonicon is definitely notable. It hurts, you know, if you want to go this on Spectre, or you want to just buy it on, you know, Beastmaster, you're going to lose quite a bit of strength, which I think definitely matters. It could get you killed. Vladimir's Offering is 100 gold extra. Definitely still think it's a very viable item though. Dust being reduced by 10 gold. Wow, it's the patch of the supports, baby. We're back. Now let's get into the hero changes. So first off, we have Beastmaster, Call of the Wild Hawk. And a lot of people didn't understand this change, I'm sure. A lot of you might have read this or seen it and not understand it. But Call of the Wild Hawk no longer blocks neutral camps. Now, why is that notable? Because what a lot of people would do when they would pick Beastmaster is that they would solo lane him, or even if you duo laned him, you'd take the Hawk and you put it in the small camp. Because now you do not have to invest in sentry wards, right? You don't have to spend 75 gold to block a camp, and you don't have to take the chances of getting an obs dewarded by placing an obs in their small camp. And so what you could do is every single time the Hawk came up, as it's a 60-second cooldown, is you'd send it off to the small camp, and you could block it every single minute. Right? You could block a camp every single minute. Now, of course, they could sentry and kill the Hawk, but that's a pretty bad bounty for having to commit a sentry ward, right? It wasn't too good. And because of this, I think this is a pretty good nerf to Beastmaster that doesn't kill the hero. It just makes it a bit worse at, like, the top tier of Dota. Also, you got a talent nerf. Who cares? Centaur Warrunner, 2% less at all levels on the retaliate attack damage per charge, which definitely matters because it's percentage based. So, do I think this makes the hero, once again, not playable? No. I think for the longest time now, what I've seen from Ice Frog is he's not killing heroes. Like, very little heroes will ever get killed within a patch, so you guys should not freak out. If you see your hero get nerfed, unless it's Meepo. Nah, but even Meepo is still okay. But if you see your hero get nerfed, do understand that you shouldn't freak out and stop picking it. It is most likely still viable. Centaur Warrunner, though, is going to have a lot less damage, so you're quite a bit worse in the laning stage. Also, I guess in the mid game. It's not the end of the world. 2% is not going to ruin your game, but it definitely matters. Next up is Clockwork, one of the most popular position fours of the patch. He was definitely very strong, super high win rate. Actually, I think the highest win rate of any position four. And he has lost 0.2 strength gain, which, you know, stinks. Death Prophet, 2 less base damage. Definitely this is also a top meta hero of the patch, being first phased by many teams as a core and a support, actually. Spirit Siphon, 10 more mana. Not the end of the world, but definitely can hurt Death Prophet. Could make the difference in a fight. And Exorcism Scepter, it is the Scepter, not the ultimate. The Scepter damage multiplier is reduced from 1.75 to 1.5, which I don't think matters too much because now you could just not buy Scepter, or, I mean, you could buy it and it's still fine. Like, this isn't that bad. It's really not that bad. So overall, once again, I don't think this is enough to really kick Death Prophet out of the meta. I think they're just trying not to kill the hero because it wasn't broken, right? Your typical was broken. It was not broken, all right? It was just okay. Next up, we have Huskar. 10 less attack speed at all levels of the Berserker's Blood. I guess this hero's win rate was still high, but I'm a bit surprised they're still nerfing it. I think Huskar's gotten nerfed like 3 patches in a row. I really do think it's been 3 patches in a row where Huskar's gotten the boot. He also got a nerf to his Burning Spear DPS. 2 less damage at level 15, which, you know, stinks. It's not too bad, though. Keeper of the Light, one of the most popular supports of the patch, being first picked in a large majority of the games. People are just using the Chakra Magic combos. They are maxing this spell out to kind of wreck people. And the Chakra Magic cooldown, right, the amount of time it would get rid of cooldown on someone else, right? So when you cast this on yourself, it would lower the cooldown of things like, you know, Bristle Quills or Terrorblade Metamorphosis. Yes, guys, you actually could use Chakra on a Terrorblade and it would reduce the cooldown of Metamorphosis because it is considered a normal spell. But all in all, and yes, that's a pretty funny combo, and I think EG actually was running it. But funny enough, right? Chakra Magic was the main core concept, the key ability that allowed Cuddle to be good. So this nerf, definitely not killer, but it hurts. And also a little bit of a talent nerf that's not the end of the world. Definitely 50 radius is pretty big, so if you get to level 20, this hurts, but I would say a lot of games, I don't feel like Cuddle even gets to level 20 unless it's going late. Like in Shapeshift, okay, yeah, this hero had to get nerfed. Even though he got like 6 base damage reduced last patch and talent nerfs, it still needed another nerf. And yeah, so 15 seconds at level 1, this kills the hero. Not really kills, but like hurts him pretty bad, right? He's losing the Fang here because really 15 seconds is going to be the difference between getting to that, you know, extra kill or not, or getting that extra, you know, evading that extra gank or things like this. Meepo! Base agility reduced from 24 to 17, base damage and armor unchanged. So he didn't lose armor or damage. However, I believe this means he loses attack speed. So one thing I noticed, because I was actually watching a bit of Meepo lately, I'm coaching someone on Meepo. One thing I noticed is that the hero's attack speed in lane actually allows him to get CS where other heroes couldn't, because you have pretty high attack speed, right? So this definitely hurts you, right? This definitely hurts you a lot, where all of a sudden you're just not going to be able to hit nearly as often. And most notably about Meepo, and this change is kind of shocking, guys, but Meepo was, if some of you didn't know, the highest win rate hero of the patch, I think by quite a large margin. I think it had a 60% at some point, like, which is insane. It's literally insane. So I definitely think these changes are good and sort of needed. But Divided We Stand now level requirement increased from 3 to 4, which is brutal. Like, that is really, really bad for the hero, because basically when you hit level 3, like straight up, when you hit level 3, you could just start jungling. All these good Meepos, they wouldn't level net, they would take the Ransack, and they would jungle. That's why Meepo was good right now. Like, I've watched this hero a lot. You hit level 2, you take Ransack, and you just trade and lifesteal. And yeah, by trading and lifestealing with Ransack, you basically could out-heal people in the mid-game, in the early game, in the late game, you'd man up. It was relatively strong. So does this really crush Meepo as a hero? No, because I still think you're going to be able to farm faster than anyone else. The big thing is you're probably going to lose around like 200, 300 net worth in the early game, which definitely can snowball throughout the match. It could get you killed if you don't have that extra Wraith Band or that extra part of Treads. Definitely matters. Next up is Phantom Lancer. He lost 3 agility. The hero is still fine, definitely still strong. Phoenix, probably one of the most popular supports of the patch, even been picked as a mid laner quite a bit by a lot of players. Also as an off laner as well. This hero is just very flexible, as it's gotten like 18 laning stage buffs in a row. I'm not kidding. Literally like buff. It's like 2 damage here, 1 armor here, 1 armor here, 5 movement speed, 10 damage. And then all of a sudden it's super good. And not only did they nerf the Fired Spirits by 5 damage at all levels, which definitely matters. That's easily going to be the difference between getting a kill or not. I guarantee that. And at level 15, you also lost another 5 damage on the Fire Spirits talent, which you would almost always get to, as Phoenix, you know, would often take tomes to get levels for his level 12. And then you would, you know, farm in a lot of ways, and you'd be chilling. You'd be hard chilling. Next up, we have Snapfire, and her cookie damage was reduced, so this hero was still being picked. Most notably, when I saw Snapfire being picked, it was actually a response pick to Phoenix, as it lanes pretty well against Phoenix, right? You do a lot of magical damage to trade with him, but also your little Shredder would kill the egg. So I feel like Snapfire wasn't too popular outside of that, like outside of being this counter pick to Phoenix, and sometimes even Coddle, because of little Shredder. I don't feel like Snapfire was actually that insane. I definitely think this hero is falling off a little bit. Definitely still strong, right? Definitely still strong, but falling off a little bit. So, this seems a bit weird. I feel like this hero is getting balanced out for sure, and is in a pretty good spot now, where I doubt it will get nerfed again in the next patch. Wraith King base damage reduced by 2. This is definitely still one of the highest win rate heroes of the patch. It still had like a 55 to 56% win rate. I think it was in between that. So it lost 2 damage, which hurts him in the laning stage. And then Mortal Strike Skeleton's duration reduced from 90 to 60, which is huge. This is huge, because in that extra 30 seconds, they could easily get you 300, 400, 500 gold. If you're lucky, even more. So like, I mean, I just think this is a huge nerf to Wraith King. Like 30 seconds is massive. Maybe like 15 is what I would have expected, but the hero didn't get nerfed last patch, I believe, in 7.25B, which was surprising because it was crushing. So now I guess they're trying to really like, they're trying to knock down, close the case on Wraith King, not let it get any further, because it was still doing extremely well, especially in pubs. Even in the pro scene, it was getting picked a bit by certain teams, especially NA teams from what I saw. So yeah, that's going to be the end of 7.25C. I would say that the biggest nerf, and I want you guys to comment down below as well what you think the biggest nerf was, but I think the biggest nerf is Meepo. I definitely do. The Lycan one comes close for me. I think for the most part, these four aren't too bad. I think Huskar is not too bad as well. Coddle's bearable. I still think Coddle's going to be picked quite a bit, even though this does hurt the hero quite a bit, like 1 second cooldown. I think the Meepo one, because it's going to hurt his ability to flash farm and get ahead, right? Especially this agility hurting all the Meepos and their ability to flash farm. Like, I definitely think Meepo's the biggest loser of the patch. So, unfortunately, rest in peace, Meepo! And I'll see you in the next video! And hey guys, remember, before you end this video, in the link down below, I've been playing a lot of live games where I talk about my thoughts in real time in the middle of a Dota match. So if you want to get in the head of a pro player, click the link down below to the gameleap website. Super cheap right now, right? Like, and I'm doing this a ton. We all have time on our hands. I have time to make content. You guys probably have time to enjoy and learn Dota, get better at the game. So yeah, if that combo works for you, click the link down below and I'll see you there.